What's up, guys? Welcome to another Maker Monday. Hey, today I'm actually filming this on Monday. Sorry I've been so absent here lately, but it's been busy. I don't know if any of you catch some of my tweets that I put out there on Twitter, but I've been doing stuff with my church, been youth leading that. I've been doing den leading for Cub Scouts, for the whole Boy Scouts of America thing. My son's a Cub Scout, so I've been doing den leadings with that. And trying to find time to do YouTube, so I apologize that it's taken me a while to get some videos out, but anyway, nonetheless, what I figured we'll do today is we're going to take a look at measuring devices. That's right, we're going to be checking out different things to measure stuff with, and it's always good to have some of these, not all of these. I just grabbed literally a handful of stuff that I had laying around the lab here, but I was going to show you guys some of these great tools that you can use for measuring, because if you can't measure it, you can't quantify it, you can't really do anything with it. So I'm going to show you guys some of the tools that I use to do measurements and whatnot on different things. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start my stopwatch to make sure that I do not go over our time. So let's dig into it here. First thing that I have in this blue little thing, and by the way, a lot of this, probably not all of it, but a lot of this you can get on Amazon, actually. It's actually readily available on there. But this little blue guy is what we call an RPM meter, or a digital tachometer, if you see that, okay? What this does is it's got a laser beam. That's why it's got the danger, you'll blast your eyeballs if you shine it into your face. Don't do that, don't do that. But what you can do is you press test on it and it shoots a laser beam out. See that? So it shoots a laser beam out. Now, what you do is you have some of this reflective tape, and you can buy more of this, but what you do is, let's say you have something that's spinning. I don't know if I have a motor in here, but if you have a shaft that's spinning, like for example, okay, so like if I had this stepper, okay, and I wanted to see how fast this shaft was spinning, and maybe I had something coupled onto it and made it longer. I take a piece of this reflective tape and I tape it to the shaft, okay? Just one section of it. You don't need to go all the way around the shaft, otherwise it won't read. You just tape a little sliver of it to a side, so that way it comes by, essentially, okay? So, and then all you do is you're gonna take this little device and you shine it at it. You press the button and you shine the laser beam right at the tape, and how it works is every time the tape comes along, it's going to reflect that laser beam. There's actually, I don't know if you can see it, you can sort of see it, there's kind of an IR sensor in there, the light's blasting. But anyway, what it will do is that wavelength of light that laser beam puts out will bounce off of this reflective tape and come back into the receiver. And so it basically makes a blinking, which then it translates that to the RPM, because obviously that reflective tape is going around at a certain revolution per minute, right? So that's how this little device works. Very slick. I think this one was maybe only like 30 bucks or something. Like, it's fairly inexpensive for one of these. And this one had great reviews on it. But check around on Amazon for a tachometer. Another one that's cool, since we were I was actually going to get into doing wind power, and I got sidetracked. I do apologize for that. I'll try to get those videos coming though, and get some wind energy videos coming. But to measure, I had a wind meter, is what this is. It's made by Ambient Weather. It's the WM-2, okay? And what this little guy does is, if I can get him to turn on, what it does is, as the wind's blowing, ooh, the battery might be dead. I haven't pulled this guy out in a while. But what he does, let me grab a screwdriver real fast. Excuse me. I have to go off camera for a minute. Okay, all right, I'm back. So, pop this guy open, make sure his battery's still good. What it does is it will measure wind speed, and that was going to come in very handy when I was doing the videos for wind generation, because I needed to figure out a constant wind source, and what I was going to use. Yeah, there it goes. I don't know why, but sometimes this little thing, it'll get weird and you have to reseat the battery, and then it turns right on. Okay, so as you can see that? If you can see it, there we go. Get some of the light off there. I got new lights set up and playing with new lighting, so you'll have to forgive me. But basically, as the air goes through it, it'll tell you how many mile per hour the wind is. So I guess I'm very windy. I'm up to 15. Oh, I was 38. Woo! Anyway, so what I was going to do is to be able to test and calculate tip speed and things like that for the windmill, to calculate how much energy I could be generating and things like that. I needed to know a constant wind. Well, what I was going to do is I was going to put the wind generator, once I constructed it, in front of one of my fans. But to figure out how fast and what the velocity of the wind was so I could calculate tip speed and all that fun stuff for wind generation, I needed to know what the wind speed was. So this was a very handy little device. Again, not too expensive. It's fairly accurate. I'm actually impressed with it. It is fairly accurate. But it's like your own little wind speed indicator. So it also has, I think it even has temperature, and it has all kinds of cool stuff in it. You can commit stuff to memory. It'll show a delta. It'll show a delta between, so you can measure two different wind speeds and press this plus button. It'll tell you the difference between the two and things like that. It's actually a pretty darn good little tool here. And it even has a backlight on it. Like I did, I held the you hold the set button, I believe, to turn it on. Okay, and then that turns it on. And then see, it even has a little backlight. I don't know if you guys can see that, but let me see if I can't darken it. See, it's got like a little backlight on it that you can turn on and off. You don't have to have the little backlight on if you don't want to. But yeah, so it'll light up the display. It's pretty cool, so you can check it at night. So that's another measurement device. And then, of course, the almighty meter. I cannot stress enough to get yourself a good meter. Now, you don't have to go out there and get a Fluke. You know, these are really expensive. But boy, I tell you, if you're wanting real good, accurate measurements, it's hard to beat a Fluke for outside of, like benchtop meters. And there's Keithley and Agilent and all that. Well, of course, I think Agilent's now Keysight now, but either way. But for a good metered hold around, you can check out Dave Jones, an EEV blog. He tears tons of these apart. And shows how they work on the inside and whatnot. So, and he shows how robust these really are. These are actually a very good meter. However, there is one, I don't have it with me. I had to loan it to my brother-in-law to fix his dryer, actually. So that's what I mean. These are multi-purpose. You can fix appliances and everything with a good multimeter, or DMM, digital multimeter. It's a good one to have. Is one that's by X-Tech, I think is who they are. Dave Jones even does a review of it. If you go check him out on the EEV blog, check him out real quick, and he does a review of, like a basic meter to have, and I think it's X-Tech is what I think it is. Excuse me, I have to itch every now and then. My eyes, I'm telling you, it is totally allergy season down here in Kansas. So anyway, pick yourself up a good multimeter. Like I said, the X-Tech multimeter is a good one. Check out Dave Jones's website. He goes over that and tells you how which one is a good recommended one. If I had it here, I wish I had it here. I'd show it to you. But that's a good one. This thing, it does temperature, it does continuity check, it does capacitance, it does diode checker, it has amps, even goes down to microamps, AC and DC, milliamps, your volts, millivolts, all that stuff. And you can pair this with a current clamp probe, okay? That's another one that's just very, very, very helpful. How this works is you take this clamp and you clip it around, and this will do both AC and DC. It has a Hall effect sensor in it to do the DC side, and that's what this little knob is. That's a zeroing knob. When you hook it up to this thing and you hook it up DC, and you hook up the volt side of it. You don't hook up the current side, because this actually translates the current into a voltage signal that then the meter will read on volts. So if you're doing AC, you do AC millivolts, I think. If you do DC measurements, current measurements, you do DC millivolts on this. Now with the DC one, you have to, before you clip it around the source, like if you're checking how much power your car pulls, let's say for some reason, and you clip it around the deal, you have to, before you clip it on, you leave the clip without any wire going through it, and you zero it. You turn it on, you plug it into the meter, and then you set it by looking at the meter as close to zero as you can. And what that does is it calibrates the Hall effect sensor. And then if you want to further, this thing has a delta button, and when you push the delta button, it will actually zero the meter. It actually takes that offset out. It's an offset adjust is really what it is. So anyway, good meters. good results, but I do highly suggest going ahead and spending a little bit of cash and getting a good meter. I think that X-Tech one is like 60 or 80 bucks or something like that. But I don't know, a good basic meter to start with is going to run you probably in the $80 to $100 range. So, you know, and it is worth the investment for what you use it for. You use it for all kinds of, in fact, I'm constantly using this. I use this at my church. I use it around the house. I use it in my videos. I mean, I'm just constantly using this thing. And that's why I bought two. I bought that X-Tech one because, for one, I wanted to see if it was really good. I wanted to see what the error was compared to the Fluke. It is very, very close. It is a very, very good little handheld meter. A little multimeter. That X-Tech one is pretty good. So, but it's always good to have two because you want voltage and current measurements, right? You can only do one at a time with one of these meters, right? Either volts or current, one of the two. So it is a good thing to have two meters laying around if you're going to be in your lab, because then you got two forms of measurement. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we're getting close. All right, I only got three more tools to show you. Another one is another meter, yet another meter. Now this one is pretty cool. This one is the Amprobe ACD45PQ, okay? What this guy is this guy is a power meter, is what this guy does, which is really pretty spiffy. What you can do is it'll do three-phase, but it has a continuity checker, has an ohmic value measurer, so you can measure resistances and things like that with it. But the cool thing about it, excuse me, I'm sorry if I have to sniff a lot because, like I said, allergies. Boop. Anyway, you can do three-phase balanced, three-phase unbalanced power. Now, the three-phase power, it's going to be a guess. This isn't like one of those big power quality meters that you can get that has like 3 different clampies and 3 different voltage probes and, you know, all that stuff. It's not going to be that accurate. It's going to guess. Basically what it does is when you clip it onto one wire and it sets it, and then you clip it to the next wire, set it, clip it to the next wire, set it, you know, and it takes the measurements, and then it actually, through calculation, calculates the three-phase power and the balanced and unbalanced stuff and everything. So it does it through calculation based on the individual measurements, which is pretty good, but it's not as good as, you know, having all 3 measurements and combining them all together with the 3 different probes, because then you have, you know, a lot more accuracy with that. But honestly, from what I've seen with this, it's pretty darn accurate just the way it is. I'm totally impressed. I used it to calibrate a power quality chip, which I will review eventually. I bought a demo kit for these power chips that Microchip makes, and that's why I bought this meter. I wanted to check the performance and the quality of that chip. So that's what this thing does, and it'll do single phase, you know, stuff, which in your house, that's mainly what it'll be. So if you want to know the power going through like a lamp or something, what you would do is you clip this around the energized conductor, okay, not the neutral, and please be careful. I have to send that out there. Disclaimer. I even had people talking to me about this. Disclaimer. Be very careful when you're dealing with AC power. AC power is lethal. Okay, more people are killed off of 120 volt, at least in the United States, than any other voltage, okay, because everybody thinks that it's just 120 volt and it can't hurt you. It can, and it will hurt you. So that's my little disclaimer spiel. Be very, very careful when you're dealing with alternating current. DC, you would have to get the voltage really, 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 really high, which, if anybody out there has been shocked off of the coil side on a car, you know, a distributed car, you know, it has the distributor still in it, and you have the coil, you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, DC, when it goes into thousands of volts, still it can hurt you too, but most of the time you find DC current, it's usually 12 volts or 24 volts or something like that, and it's not going to bite you. But AC will bite you, so you have to be very careful with it, okay? But you clip this around the energized conductor, is where the clippy goes, and then it has a set of probes. I've got them in the bag, but it has a set of probes that you put across the voltage side of it, you know, from the phase conductor to the other. And then it will actually calculate and tell you the power, the real power, the reactive power. It'll also tell you the power factor. It'll tell you all that stuff. Now, I'm going to go through video on basically power stuff. It's the reason I bought that kit, and go over some power calculations and power quality and things like that. For those of you that may want to see that, I'll probably be doing that, and this is the tool that we're going to use to see real life applications and see how that you can calculate the power and see if it comes out close to what the measured power is. So that's a good meter, is a power meter. Okay, that's what that is, and one that calculates real reactive and power quality, or power factor. You definitely want a meter that does that. How are we doing on time? We ought to be getting close. Oh, we're getting close. We're going over. Uh-oh. This one might be, you know, 15, this one might be close to 20 minutes. Another tool that I want to mention, and you've seen me use this before, is a Volnier caliper is what it's called, or for short, we just call them calipers, okay? These are magical. You can measure how big things are all the way down to 1/1000th of an inch. This is very, very useful when you're doing 3D printing, especially when you're doing 3D printing, or you're doing case design or things like that, and you need to model something in the computer and have it come out to the right dimensions and stuff. Buy you a pair of these. These are actually very, very expensive ones. They actually came from my grandfather, believe it or not. I got these from my grandfather. He was a machinist. These are Mitutoyo is what they are, but and these are, but you don't need super expensive ones, you know, just so you know. Just get yourself one. In fact, I have another pair around here somewhere. It was from Harbor Freight. It was like 20 bucks. You know, it doesn't need to be super fancy. It just needs to get you close, okay? This one is a set of precision ones, but either way, pick yourself up a pair of these. I like the dial calipers. You know why? Because they don't take batteries. And batteries drive me nuts when they go bad and you need your calipers, and of course it's not, the digital screen's not working because your batteries are dead. Yeah. Dial calipers. If you can learn how to read the dial calipers, which actually they're not that hard to learn how to read. Maybe one day I'll show you how to read calipers and the C-clampy looking things. My brain is gone now. I can't think of what the name of those are. But anyway, micrometer. There we go. Micrometers and things like that. I can show you guys how to read those if you guys want to. You know, put it in the comments if you want to know how to like read these different measurement tools and whatnot. I mean, let me know. I'll do kind of review videos and we can look at them. Anyway, last but not least is a feeler gauge. For my 3D, the only reason I mention this for my 3D printer is getting the heights and the levels and stuff like that has been an absolute nightmare with that thing. So this has been one of the greatest tools to make sure things are uniform. What a feeler gauge is it's strips of metal, okay, that has a label on it. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully I can get it to, I don't know if you can see that or not, but basically it has a label written on it. It says like 0.023. What that means is it's 23 thousandths of an inch thick. Okay, so what this is for is when you have two things that are really close together, you can slide these in between and figure out how wide that gap is. You can use these, I mean, I guess you could technically check the gap in a spark plug with it, even though they make spark plug gappers. It's more probably the tool you'd want to use for that. But you can check gaps in things. Like if there's supposed to be an air gap, or like for the nozzle to the bed is supposed to be on your 3D printer, the nozzle to the bed is only supposed to be so far away or something like that while it's printing or whatever, like 2 millimeters, wherever. You can translate that to, of course, you can buy metric ones of these too. But you can get like, pull out the 2 millimeter one, stick it in there and see if it really is 2 millimeters. You know, if you can't get this in there, well then it's too close to the bed. Or if you get it in there and it's all sloppy, well then it's too far away from the bed, see? So feeler gauge. Feeler gauge is another great tool to have, all right? Okay, I guarantee we're over time for now. So hopefully this has been very informative. Hopefully this shows you a little bit. And like I said, this is only just a few of the measurement tools that I have. I've got some, you know, everywhere. We didn't talk about the oscilloscope. Oscilloscope's another great tool to use to analyze waveforms and things like that with. And that might be a whole nother video because scopes are very complicated. So that might be a whole nother video explaining that one if you want it. Let me know in the comments what I missed, what you found interesting, what you want to see more of, or maybe one of these tools you want to see in action, see how it's working. Let me know down in the comments. I love reading you guys' comments. I apologize to many of you for not responding here lately. Everything has been so busy. I promise I'm going to sit down and go through all my comments and try to touch on as many of them as I possibly can. It's just now that we've grown past 6,000 subscribers and we're getting bigger, comments are rolling quite a bit, and the comments on this channel are a little bit different than other channels because they're more, I can't get this to work, or this doesn't work right, and so it's more troubleshooting, and it takes a lot more of my time to try to figure out good suggestions for you guys, because I don't want to tell you guys just something that's going to send you down a rabbit hole. I'm going to try to help you get to where you're going. But if I don't respond immediately, please don't hold that against me. It's just that I have so much to do, and some of the questions, some of the problems you guys are having are involved, and they need to be troubleshot. And my time is very limited, especially now that I've got Cub Scouts and church and a lot of other things going on. So bear with me. I will get to your comments. I promise. If I don't, I'm thinking about, hey, here's a great idea. I'm thinking about, let me know in the comments. I'm thinking about doing a question and answer video where maybe I take like a whole bunch of you guys' questions and then I just answer them on a video, because that might actually work better, actually. Well, anyway, I'm going to think about it. Let me know in the comments if you guys would like that, like a Q&A video where we do questions and answers. And I pick a lot of the comments, especially the ones that are frequent, like it's the same comment over and over. How do you do this? How do you do this? And answer them in a video. Would you guys like that? If you would, then let me know down in the comments, and I would be glad to do that. In fact, that might be an easier format instead of me sitting down and just pounding out, typing all of the answers. So anyway, that might be better. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great week. Hope this starts your week off great. If not, if you're looking at it at the end of your day or the end of the week, hope you had a great week and a great day. Take care, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. That helps my video get more views, helps it come up faster. Also, if you want to support the channel, Bitcoins. There's a deal at the end of this, as well as one down in the bar down there. Check that out, as well as t-shirts. You know, I've got some t-shirts. In fact, I've got a new coffee cup. I think I tweeted out a picture of it a while back, but I've got a new coffee cup that's a tumbler coffee cup. Dude, it's awesome. I even bought one. I think it's great. I use it all the time at work. And in fact, my work always asks me where I got that cup, and I'm like, well, it's my cup. Anyway, so check that out, Zazzle.com /misperry. Check out those cool stuff that's down there. All right, guys, I have totally wasted enough time. This video's gone way too long. Take care. We'll see you next time.